Studies show that if someone asks you to do a task and you hold off doing it for 30 seconds, the likelihood of you doing that task drops by about 30%. If you wait 2 minutes, the rate of completion drops by about 50%. For example, if someone asks you to do the dishes and you wait 30 seconds until you do it, the likelihood of you doing it drops by 30% as opposed to doing it as soon as you're told to. These stats are worse if you have ADHD or impairments to your executive function, including things like planning, organization, or self-control. So what does this mean? Well, it means that the longer you put off doing something, the more likely you are to never get it done at all. By the way, the craziest thing about these stats is that they're completely made up. I completely made them up. They're completely fake. But this is a really real feeling that I, and I'm sure many others have. The longer we wait to do something, the harder it is to get it done. However, once I learned how to do things efficiently and without hesitation, it's definitely made things a lot easier, and I've definitely been able to do a lot more because of it. It all comes down to the sense of immediacy. Think about the phrase, "rent was due." When that new Clips album drops or that new Chappell Roan single hits and someone goes, "Damn, rent was due." It symbolizes the sense of putting a lot of effort into doing something because there's a lot of urgency and immediacy to do it. The reason why you do that final paper the night before it's due is because there's a big sense of immediacy to do it. But this causes a lot of stress and forces you to rush it and sacrifice quality sometimes. So is there a healthier and better way to force this kind of sense of urgency without sacrificing quality? Yes. Yeah, that's why I'm making this video. Of course, I think there's maybe a way to do it. And I think the main way is through this method called the 20-minute timer method. I know. I know. Crazy stuff here. Crazy name too. I don't know. I don't know. It started this past year when I was in college. In college, I was a part of this sketch comedy troupe, kind of similar to Saturday Night Live, where we wrote and performed our own sketch shows and performed them 3 times a semester. To start the show cycle, every member had to submit about 2 to 3 sketches to be table read at the voting meeting, where we would then vote on the top 10 to 12 sketches to be performed for the sketch show. Every time a voting meeting was on the horizon, I'd be thinking about, oh man, I don't have any ideas for sketches, I don't know how I'm gonna pull this off, and this, that, and the third, and every single time we had a voting meeting, I was scrambling for the whole day to try to put something together. And I mean, I was able to write some decent sketches that got in shows. I was never satisfied with them, never liked them, but they did the job. They were fine enough. This is that sense of forced immediacy that allows you to get the job done, but not at its maximum potential and quality. The main force of urgency for me was the stress of not getting these sketches in. This is mostly like a social stress because there wasn't really any big penalty in not getting a sketch in. It's not like it was a paper where if I didn't get it in, I wouldn't get a good grade or anything like that, but it was more of a social norm that I was obligated to write a sketch because this is what everyone's doing. And, I'm offering up my work for the people. However, one day I was pretty bored, and with the voting meeting on the horizon, I remembered this task that one of my English professors had us do. One day, when we were going to discuss the week's assigned reading, he set a 10-minute timer. During these 10 minutes, he asked us to write non-stop the whole way through. No pauses, no lifting up the pencil, just a complete stream of consciousness. If we got to a point where we were writing and we were thinking about, oh, I don't know what I'm going to write, we would write, oh no, I don't know what I'm going to write in it. So, loosely based off of that idea, I thought to myself, what if I just set a 20-minute timer and just devoted myself fully to writing a sketch? No, I couldn't write a full comedy sketch from scratch in 20 minutes, but I wanted to see what I was able to do. So, I started the 20-minute timer and just wrote. The idea was not to actually finish the task, but to break through the mental block of starting the task. which I think is the hardest part. What I found out was once that 20-minute timer stops, you may not want to stop what you're doing. Sooner than you may know it, you might have actually completed the task that you've been putting off for so long. And it all starts with just 20 minutes. When I first used this method for sketch writing, I actually ended up making what I think was my best sketch that I've ever written, and my favorite one. So whether it's writing that paper, doing the dishes, folding your laundry, or even going to the gym, just try and start with a 20-minute timer. Pressing start on that timer simulates a sense of urgency and can get you into that natural flow state where you can finish the task with little stress and with maximum quality and potential. Okay, I know I'm talking about maximum quality potential, but something very important is actually to not really worry about striving for perfection, at least not initially. For me, this has been the biggest struggle when it comes to making videos like this. Is that I always wanted to make this like incredible think piece video essay on video games and do a bunch of research on psychology and blah 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 and this, that, and the third and whatever. But if you haven't been able to tell by looking at my YouTube channel, I I never made that, and I never made that video. I was always intimidated by working on a task that I put so many high expectations in. But I've kind of realized that it's better to get something out than not doing the task at all. At least you'll have actually finished the task that you've been putting off for so long. Even for this video and this script, I'm not the hugest fan of it. I kind of feel like it's a little preachy, it's a little disingenuous almost. I don't know, it's a little grind setty, like I don't know, sometimes it doesn't really feel like me, especially when writing it. But I know the moment that I start like second guessing myself, I'm gonna go through this whole editing and scrapping process, and it's just gonna go into this like development hell where I'll just end up back at square one and never make a video. When it comes to something like starting a hobby, it's important to know that you're not gonna be great at it. You're probably not gonna be good at it at all. Like this goes for when you're picking up an instrument as well. Like, you know, I was actually gonna turn on my piano here and like plunk out some notes because I've been trying to learn piano. But like for me, when I started playing piano, and if you were to start playing an instrument or whatever, you're not gonna sound like the next Beethoven or Mozart, which stinks. I know. I would love to be that, and I would love to be an excellent video creator as well. But we all have to start somewhere. Sure. Doing something at first isn't going to be as perfect as you'd like it to be, but putting something out in the first place and getting a task done or hobby started in the first place is going to get you on the path for perfection more than if you didn't do anything at all. It's kind of like going to the gym. Not all gym days are going to be the best. You're not always going to be motivated or energized to do so, but going to the gym is better than not going to the gym at all. Even if you don't have as much energy as you would have liked for your leg day, or you weren't able to progressively overload that much, or you've only had 100 grams of carbs and really I should be striving for 150 grams of carbs and oh, I'm down like 10 ounces of water. It's just like, no, just go to the gym. Just do it. Don't worry about it too much. It's not going to be your best day maybe, but going and doing something is better than not doing at all. It's a lot better if you finish an imperfect task with not a lot of stress especially, than no task at all. Of course, there are other factors and strategies when it comes to challenging procrastination. There's one that I've found that I don't know how optimal it is. I don't know how like universal it could be. But hey, all cards are on the table. So one thing that I've found that helps is to create a semi-uncomfortable situation for myself if the task doesn't get completed. A very uncomfortable and stressful situation is one where there's a deadline and you're scrambling to get it done, much like how papers are for people who are doing it last minute, or like kind of how sketches were for me. That's not the kind of uncomfortable I'm talking about here. I'm more talking about something that's inconvenient more than uncomfortable. So for me, Sometimes when I do the laundry and I have it in my basket, I kind of procrastinate on actually folding it, and I just kind of like leave it there in the basket. So what I've learned to do is I just dump out the whole basket of my clean laundry onto my bed. This makes it so that I can't lay on my bed to rest, or I can't go to sleep until I've finished folding my laundry. And also my room would look like a mess, and I don't know, I don't really want that. I mean, I like my mess, but not like that. A healthier example that I feel more comfortable preaching is just to make things easier for yourself so you can set yourself up for success. For example, when it comes to cooking, meal prep is going to be one of those big things that a lot of people preach that'll make your life easier. Essentially, you're setting yourself up for success because you have more food that is readily available to you and more accessible, and you don't have to prep it, and you can just like put it in the microwave, or you don't have to spend a lot of money on like fast food if you want something quick to eat. I'll be honest, I don't meal prep, but what I do is I ingredient prep. So I'll like maybe cut up some chicken and put it in marinade so that it's like completely ready to like be cooked. Or sometimes I'll just like cut up like vegetables. And even if you don't want to like cut up vegetables, then just buy pre-cut vegetables at the grocery store. If you know pre-cutting vegetables is already too much for you. Whatever's going to bring you that success and set you up for more success in the future and make things easier for you, just do that. There are other big factors that play into the ability to challenge procrastination, especially when it comes to having or not having like good time management skills, or how deep you are into social media and like those Instagram reels. Like, damn, I do love me some Instagram reels. But when you have like 11 hours of screen time a day, it's like, maybe you're not setting yourself up for success. And, I use Opal, which is like a app blocker, and I feel like that's really helped me. But, there's a lot of other things that go into one's ability to challenge procrastination or not. But I find that this 20-minute timer method and really focusing on immediacy and getting things done as soon as you can has really helped me challenge procrastination. I've been wanting to make YouTube videos for a long time, but I've held it off for so long. Technically, I have made some like videos before, but they were mostly for school projects, and that goes to show that sense of immediacy and urgency in completing a task. But it really wasn't like the videos that I wanted to make, and it was really just urged by the fact that I wanted a good grade. Needless to say, it still works, but it can be a lot harder when you're doing that for yourself and providing immediacy to yourself as opposed to some sort of external force like school. I've used a lot of these techniques when making this video. For example, I first thought of this video when I was in the shower. So as soon as I got out of the shower, I just started like writing on my phone in my notes app, like the script for this video, and like just like some loose like ideas and topics. The fake facts in the beginning of this video I thought of in the shower, and I just immediately wrote that down because I really liked it. Shortly after that, I started folding up my laundry, and whenever I thought of something for this video, I just used speech to text to just write down my ideas. As soon as I thought of something I wanted to do, I immediately tried to do it. That way, I ensured that I'd make good progress on this project. This allowed me to get a good start on this, but I kept using these techniques throughout this whole process when it came to writing the script and to now to filming it, and I hope I keep using it for when I have to edit this video and all that stuff. So I hope anything I said provided some illumination into how to challenge procrastination, because I know it certainly helped me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to make more videos, especially ones on like video game, video essays, psychology, think pieces, I don't know. But yeah, thank you, and remember to Love everyone. Yes, dude. Let's go!